Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about the AMC gamma squeeze, how shorts can't control anymore, $100,000 per share, and many more in this video. Now, take a look at this. So this might be something or it might not, but for the first time in a long time, a big pile of call options ended up in the money. 7,000 at $3 and 48,000 at 3.5. So AMC ended at 355 and then get systematically driven below 350 to put those 48,000 out of the money. So this is something that we don't see often in the past, and we've rarely even seen this, but to have this many options to end up in the money, and again, this is something that we've discussed in the past before. One of the biggest reasons for why every time we go to the end of the week, why we always saw AMC's price go into the red, why we always saw that volume really come in and push AMC down, it was because they were afraid of getting the options exercised, and that's what's happening right now. So to have 48,000 at 3.5 to be in the money, although we only closed at 355, it obviously gives that opportunity, it gives that potential where if these calls were to get exercised, then we are going to be seeing the gamma squeeze for AMC. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot of action and volume to obviously happen. And remember what we talked about in the past before, there are many ways for the MOAS to happen. A gamma squeeze isn't a MOAS, but what a gamma squeeze could do is it obviously causes a short squeeze, and of course that will be the MOAS that we want, because if we were to see the price suddenly shoots up, we're going to be seeing many short sellers to lose their money, and that's obviously going to create a domino effect. It's going to have that spiral effect. So this is something very, very exciting. But even if we don't get that gamma squeeze that we want, because again, this is something that has been talked about in the past, it still gives us an indication that shorts are struggling right now, because they've always happened to be able to bring AMC's price down. They were always able to bring it below max pain. They were always able to have AMC end up on the red on a Friday, but now they don't seem to have that power. It's not surprising when we've discussed everything that's been going on recently. We talked about how Citadel, despite saying they've made billions of dollars of profit, they still had to, of course, borrow money. They had to sell bonds in order to raise money to give to their investors. We talked about the reverse repo, which we'll shortly cover in this video as well. So we know there are many reasons for why shorts are losing control. And remember, make no mistake, AMC is the biggest crime scene in the history of the stock market. And so just like everything that we've discussed in the past, before, everything that they've done, whilst it's allowing them to suppress the price, it's something that will have to be done. There has to be an action done for it in the future, and it seemingly looks like they have to, of course, make the action now. Because when you take a look at this, remember, firstly, Jan 28 of 2021, the buy button was removed. This obviously happened for both AMC and GME. Now, and on top of that being removed, APE was the 90% of the common value was stolen, washed out using naked short options. And remember, however much they were shorting of AMC, they were also short of that of APE, and that's why they tried to remove their value, because they were afraid of what was going on. And not only that, obviously we've seen the APE spoofing and options manipulation. Remember, that isn't just for APE, that's for AMC as well. But when the APE shares were out, we've seen it happen for both, and that wasn't something that was happening to other stocks. So if AMC was just a coincidence, how come when the APE shares are out, they were faced with the same thing? So obviously they knew what was to happen. And remember, September 6th, unable to convert APE, they penny washed it through failure to deliver and naked swap operations using synthetic AMC. And so this isn't everything. This is only a small list, and you can already see with what the information there. This is only a small list of what they've done with AMC in the past. But that small list alone already shows you, kind of the whole situation, how big this is. And it's also, like we've discussed in the past, they can't keep doing this. It will come to a point where eventually they aren't able to suppress it. They aren't able to manipulate it. They don't have that capital and liquidity to hold on to these shorts, to these swaps, to the fact where, like we talked about, they aren't able to push the price down, and we're seeing these options in the money. And to talk more about, what the short sellers are struggling right now, you can see Citadel just filed their quarterly portfolio update. They added approximately 4.9 million shares of GameStop to their portfolio. So we know that GameStop and AMC were both shorted by Citadel and of course others as well. Now we've seen the difficulties, the situations that Citadel has been in. Like we talked about, they had to sell company shares, they had to of course borrow loans, sell bonds, etc., to raise money. They were showing signs where they were running out of capital, they were running out of liquidity. And now what we're seeing is that they're buying GME. The very shares that they wanted to short, they're now buying them. And, you know, that obviously gives us an understanding of what is happening right now. Shorts are, of course, scared. Shorts are giving up. Shorts are trying to protect themselves right now by buying into AMC, by buying into GME. We've seen in the past how Citadel was bought into AMC. We've seen how they're buying into GME now. We've recently seen Goldman Sachs buying into AMC. You're seeing how all these short sellers who were once only shorting AMC and GME are now switching up and they're buying into AMC shares, they're buying into GME shares. And you have to ask yourself, what is the reasoning for why they're doing this? You know, are they trying to prepare for something? Are they afraid of something? And now we obviously know the reason why, and we're seeing it right now. And you can see another indications of why they're doing this, of what it's happening. So CS just triggered all of my price alerts just now. We're seeing this for GME. So you can see, and this is extremely exciting, because what we saw was GME rose above $75 and it rose above 150, it rose above 600, and it rose above 40,000. So in the back end, now obviously it's not happening for, if we take a look at the price of GME now, but in the back end, in the systems, it says that GME price was above 40,000. But not only that, we can also see this. So what we can also was last at or above 2,500, where they're also seeing $167,000 as well. And now these are from different people. It wasn't just the one screenshot. It wasn't just from this guy. It wasn't just from this guy. There have been plenty of screenshots. If you guys have also experienced it today, feel free to obviously comment down below. Let everyone know what is going on. But pair that up with everything we've just talked about. We're seeing how why Citadel is buying in. We're seeing all of the things they've done on AMC. They've done, remember, everything they've done on AMC, they've done on GME as well. We're seeing how AMC price aren't able to be suppressed anymore. We're slowly seeing the crumble of these short sellers, of these institutions. And that's what we are witnessing. And you can see that they're trying to right now derail everyone's focus. So we're seeing all this pressure happening for GME right now. But you can see GameStop moved from 26 to 31, and it was not due to this CNBC article with zero named sources. This news is pushed by those with a vested interest in shorting GME market makers with exposure to short positions via swap derivatives, where they talk about GameStop is considering investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But that's obviously not the case for why GME is going up. When we just take a look at, in terms of all the prices that's happening for GME, we take a look at Citadel buying GME. Those are the reasons, you know. The fact we're seeing short sellers trying to cover their positions, the fact we're seeing back end how they're paying hundreds of thousands, you know, tens of thousands for shares of GME, how they're failing to keep AMC down, how importantly the reverse repo is at $58 billion. These are the reasons for why we're seeing the increase in price of AMC and GME. And to further on talk about this, you know, we can see 58 billions in reverse repo. Right now is the lowest to date, obviously, for a very long time. And what we are really understanding from this is obviously the struggles, the difficulties of these short sellers right now. Reverse repo was once what they relied on to over leverage to suppress AMC and GME. And you can see when you pair it up, as we're seeing the reverse repo going down, we're suddenly seeing AMC price go up. We're suddenly seeing how they aren't able to keep AMC below, you know, these cool option prices. We're suddenly seeing why these short sellers are buying in. We're seeing why, you know, these prices are happening. These are all going to because of the fact that they don't have the reverse repo. And if you take a look in terms of the liquidity problem, you can see, and in comparison, so the 13th of February in 2023, reverse repo was 2.1. And then on the 12th of February of 2024, reverse repo at 581. And then back into the 14th of February in 2025, so a 2-year span, we're seeing it at 58.7 billion. So we've seen in a 2-year span, it's gone from 2.1 trillion to 58 billion. So that's obviously a massive change, a massive decrease. And it just highlights how much money is gone, how little leverage, how little liquidity they have access to in comparison to before. And it's why we're seeing how they're failing to suppress AMC. And you guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.